Welcome to my next lesson. So this is probably the most requested problem that people face that they don't know quite what to do with. And so this is how to draw a clear bottle. The problem I think that most people have with this problem is that their brain is telling them that it's a clear bottle and that there's nothing there, especially when it's empty. This is one of those times when you have to tell your brain, you have to shut your brain off and just focus on what you're seeing. Because yes, it's clear and there's nothing in it, but it's glass, and so it's both translucent, which means you can see through it, and it is reflective, which means that it is actually interacting with its surroundings. So you get both of these things that you have to deal with. So let's go ahead and come on down here, and we're going to get started with our bottle. Here you can actually see the fact that the bottle is reflecting my finger here. So it's actually picking up parts of the room. So you have to deal with the reflections and the fact that you can see through it. So I can actually see the table running through here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and draw our bottle. Now remember, when we do this, we always draw the object. We don't draw around it. So how am I going to do this when it's something a little more complicated than just a circle? So what we have to do is I'm going to say that that's my first mark and that's my second mark. Okay, so it's one chalk length apart. Okay, so this corresponds to how wide it's going to be. So now I can figure out how tall it is. So from here, you close one eye and you look across this towards the bottle, okay? And you line this up with that over there, and then you move your fingers back and forth to where it ends on the other side of the bottle, okay? So as I'm looking across it, that's the width of the bottle. So this corresponds to this. So if I say, okay, right at the front, I'm going to measure it up. 1, 2. Okay, so now I'm going to say that that's where the bottom of the bottle is. And we go 1, 2. Okay, that is right there. So now I know where this ends up at. Okay, so now I'm going to do this again. Measure across. Okay, come down 1, 2, and about a half. So 1, 2, and about a half. That's where this ends up at. You see how I did that? Okay, so now I know where my bottle is going to fit, although I think I've got him a little crooked. So now the other problem that we have to deal with here is perspective. I know everyone hates perspective, but it's very important, especially when you're doing a bottle, because you can see through and you can see the circle that is the bottom of the jar. Now we know it's a circle in our brain, but as we're actually looking at it, it is an oval. So we need to establish that oval. So we're going to come down and establish the oval. Okay, now I know I've got that really kind of dark and smudgy right now. But I'm going to come in later and pull out some of my highlights. Now, as I'm looking at this, I've got this coming out too far. And this one's really coming out too far. But see how when I'm just smearing the charcoal, I'm putting a layer right on it already. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk to you about is your eraser. Now, a lot of people think that the eraser actually is the thing to take away mistakes. Okay? It is the mistake getting rid of her. I know that sounds so technical. But I want you to stop thinking about the fact that you use your eraser to get rid of mistakes, and I want you to think about the fact that you use your eraser to manipulate the drawing surface. Okay? Start thinking of your eraser as a tool, not something that gets rid of, makes your corrections. So, I'm looking here and I've got this way too dark because I'm seeing the table across here, so I need to lighten this up. Okay? Lighten that up some more. Now this, and right there, got a nice big highlight. Okay? So more darks. So I tend to be a little heavy-handed with my charcoal, but come back in and, of course, cut it out. Make your edges sharp again so that you can see where you're at. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just working my eraser a little bit here, reshaping it so that I can make a nice edge so that I can cut out my highlights. Okay, so I've got a nice edge there, so I can come back through and I can pull this off, okay, and work that highlight back in. And then here's this one. And remember, these things are following the curve of the bottle, so you need to follow that also and pay attention to how it works. Now I'm looking here and I'm seeing like a distortion of a line that comes, it doesn't come that far over. There we go. And then there's this here. Okay, come back through and cut it out. There we go. It's a great big old highlight right there. And then down the sides. Thank you for stopping by, and go out and draw bottles. Thank you.